So I guess I'm a fibber. I said the other day, oh, I won't make videos on Thursday and Friday, and first comes Gary's challenge, the color challenge, and I just got all excited and I had to make one with that. And actually, I'm technically working from home right now. It's just so quiet. So I figured I would do a video of some of my larger scale cars. And this is sort of for two of our community who like quote unquote quirky cars. So this video is dedicated to the Quirky Garage 1999 and Youngtimer Oldtimer. Dimmy has an amazing collection of multiple scales, everything from 187 up to 118. He shows a lot of his 143rd scale cars. Love them because there's a lot of stuff that he gets in 143rd that you can't really get in 164 at my primary scale. A lot of these models that I'm going to show off today, and it's a few of them, were gifted to me by good friends who stopped collecting and needed the space, so they gifted me these cars. So this first one is a 1969 Chevy Corvair convertible from Road Signature in 118 scale. And yes, there's a lot of dust. And with the larger scale, of course, there's a lot of detail. Movable tires, opening trunk, front trunk, because of course the Corvair was the American response to the Volkswagen Beetle. Nice interior. I mean, look at the shifter, look at the dashboard. Of course, the doors open. At this scale, no surprise. And then the rear engine cover with the flat horizontal 6, air-cooled. Of course, all lens details and lots of separate pieces. And in this scale, I'm always concerned about the mirrors getting knocked off. The reason there's a lot of hair on these larger scale models is because my little baby girl Frances there, she loves to jump. My cat, she loves to jump among the models. So that was the 1969 Corvair, a quote-unquote quirky car that I know Hot Wheels did a Corvair, but I couldn't imagine who else did a Corvair. And so this, I believe, is a Maestro. Let's take a look. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is, again, a Road Signature, 2006 Pontiac Solstice. And so these were sold in the United States as the Pontiac Solstice and under a Saturn Sky, and they were sold in Europe as an Opel GT. And these were General Motors' response to the Mazda Miata MX-5. And these were more powerful, had a bigger engine, but had their own. They just didn't do as well as an MX-5. As my brother Bob would say, the answer is always Mazda. These Pontiacs are collectible in real life because they did not sell exceptionally. They did perform well, but living with them every day as opposed to a Miata was difficult because where the Miata, the top going up and down and ease of just everything, ergonomics was so much better. But so of course the doors open, nice detailed interior. We've seen the clamshell hood and the Ecotec engine there. And let me get a toothpick to try and pry open the trunk. Okay, that's not going to open up easily. And we have other models to show. So again, the theme is quirky. And we're sticking with General Motors to begin with. We have three General Motors, the Chevy Corvair, the Pontiac Solstice, and then this, the Chevy SSR roadster pickup specialty car. I don't know if this was ever sold outside the United States. This was the early 2000s. It was General Motors trying to get into the retro hot rod, like the Plymouth Prowler and so forth, that inspired these things. They had the more mundane Chevy HHR, which was based on the Chevy Cobalt chassis. This SSR was actually based on a Firebird Camaro chassis, loosely, shared some mechanicals with it. Retractable hardtop convertible, power operated, the tonneau cover, short bed, beautiful flare side box. These were LS engine powered, so basically Corvette, immensely powerful, immensely impractical, beautiful to look at. You do not see them on the road very often. They were incredibly expensive. I mean, the mirrors up here on the posts, some of these cars are the definition of quirky in the United States. Let me get this big boy over here that's off to the side. A 1948 Tucker Torpedo. Famous because of the Beau Bridges, what's it, Beau Bridges? No, not Beau Bridges. Jeff Bridges, movie. Tucker the Man. Only 48 or 50 of these actually built in real life. Let's take a look at the bottom. Is again road signature, 1/18. You can see the detail here. A flat six air-cooled 6-cylinder engine from a helicopter. Rear engine, rear-wheel drive. Means that like the Volkswagen and the Corvair, front trunk, spare wheel, luggage, 3 headlights in front, and several cars over the years, I believe Cord Auburn, some Citroens, and maybe even Renault, had steerable headlights. This center headlight steered with the wheels in real life. Beautiful model, very well detailed. If it'll focus on the interior there. The quote-unquote suicide doors. Here's the top of that very nicely detailed 6-cylinder engine there. Tucker with the 6 individual exhaust pipes. Let's see if we can get a better shot of the interior. Yeah. Very oddly placed controls. Of course, this was Tucker trying to compete with the, quote, big 3. And actually, in the 1940s, there were more than 3 big, there were more than 3 American manufacturers. There was the group that became American Motors, Nash Rambler, there was Willys, there was Kaiser. Tucker was trying to break in. And when he lost his lawsuit and closed the company, he made refrigerators. He was an odd type of guy. That was an odd type of car. Now, the next 2 are not quite as quirky. They're a little quirky, but they are 2 of my favorites. And the first that I'll show is a Maisto. And it is the early 2000, I believe 2003, Thunderbird, the Retro Bird. Another one that doesn't get much love, and I really don't understand why. Let me see, why won't that hood go down? Something happened there. There we go. So this Thunderbird was only made for a few years. It's critically panned because of the low power from the small V8. But to put this in perspective, this was not based on a Mustang. This platform, the Thunderbird, the Lincoln LS 4-door, and the Jaguar S-Type shared this suspension and chassis DNA. So this had a small 4.2 liter V8 for the time, as opposed to a 5 liter. There was actually a supercharger option on this, and with the supercharger, it made respectable power. But there were not a lot of supercharged Thunderbirds made. Some of the Lincoln LS, and of course, the Jaguar S-Type. These, in my opinion, are beautiful, quirky cars, and for the time, 2003, they were well equipped. This is a long time ago. Now, let's see. I don't think I was able to get the trunk open before, but there we go. And again, in this scale 1/18th, the details are going to be much better. And I really have to figure out how to get some of this dust off without impacting the paint. Maybe, I don't know, Windex. If anybody has any recommendations how to get the dust off these older large-scale models without doing any damage, leave it in the comments. And this last one is a Ford concept car from the year 2000 also, coincidentally based on the same chassis as that retro Thunderbird and the Lincoln LS. This is the Ford 49 concept. They never built it. They built the concept car. It was functional, but they never marketed it. And it would have had the same 4.2 liter engine as the Thunderbird, but a supercharged version. I remember when I saw this at the auto show in New York City when it was being brought around as a concept. It was stunning. They had this, and then the following year they actually had a roadster version of it. Very Boyd Coddington or Chip Foose inspired. Absolutely beautiful. And this I think is always. Hold on, let's get. Don't drop it, Joe. 1/18th Ford 49, and this is auto art. And look at the chassis, independent rear suspension. Anybody who's familiar with the Jag Model S from this era, very similar. Beautiful exhaust, engine, transmission, front suspension details here. The trunk opens up and it's felt lined. Beautiful details. Now, hold on. There we go. Look at that interior. Beautiful. And much like the Thunderbird, if they had built this, I couldn't afford the Thunderbird at the time. I'd love to find one used. If they built one of these, I would have sold a kidney to get it. So this is what I thought was going to be a quick video, but it is almost 15 minutes. This is some quirky, large-scale models for our friends Dimi, Youngtimer, Oldtimer, and the Quirky Garage 1999. So have a great weekend. I'll be back to normal videos tomorrow.